With that, we are thrilled to welcome on 13-year NBA veteran Marcus Morris.
Marcus,
How you doing today, Marcus?
What's up, man?
Fellas, how's it going?
Tell him you ain't cut no class back in high school.
You cut class in high
Tell
school?
him you went to every class.
You know.
See? He cut class too.
You know. I'll take it with me.
Now, by the way, if you did cut class, did you and your brother, like, was it both of you or none, or did you ever go 1-1?
No, it definitely was both of us.
Yeah.
It definitely was both of us because I had to confirm it with somebody to make sure that the shit was cool.
Right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Markieff is, 10 minutes older than you? Is there something like that?
7.
Oh, 7 minutes.
7.
Does he, give you a hard time about being your older brother in that way? Not at all.
No, we never really kind of looked at it like that. We just always been, he's an older, we never really even spoken that term of like him being my older brother. It's just, we brothers, twins.
Now, don't you two have the exact same tattoos, right? Like, ain't everything identical?
Similar, but, as we got older, I started adding stuff. I got my kids. I got 3 boys, so just a lot of different things. I got married, different things we've added that, that was kind of like our younger ages when we was playing on the same team and shit. We thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It was smooth, though.
Wasn't it like a story where y'all, like, one of y'all fouled out and the other one went in the game?
Yeah, they said that. We did that in high school, though. That was true. Actually, but they said it when we was in the NBA, and I'm like, listen, I'm not playing anywhere for free. So unless they got some shit under the table, they gonna slide me. That made me slide in it. That's the only way I'm stepping out on that court for another team.
All right, Marcus. Obviously, you were here last year. You know the talent that this team has. They brought back the same roster. Obviously, Ty Jerome is healthy this year, and they've traded for Hunter. Outside of that, it's basically the same roster. The team was good last year, but nothing like this. Could you have imagined they'd be this good so far?
To be honest, yes, I could have.
Okay.
First thing I would say that the organization is top notch. It's one of the top. I've been in on a few teams like 7 or 8, and the first thing I said was when I got there is like they know how to keep players here. They know how to treat the players. They know how the logistical shit behind the scenes is major for guys like me that have been around the NBA, right? So when I recognize that, and I recognize how much the guys listen, how much they like being around the game of basketball, how the organization accept everybody for who they is, and the biggest thing was the city to me. Like when I got there, the embrace I got from the city, I can tell that they're ready for a winning team, and guys is like myself embrace that. So the first thing I did is when you guys got Kenny Axon was I texted my guy and I told him, I said, listen, that might have been the best pickup that you guys could have had, had happen for the organization. Kenny is a great guy. I had a chance to spend some time with him in Clippers, and he's a very detail-oriented guy, and I knew that the roster that you guys had, he would fit perfectly.
Marcus, being in the locker room as you were last year with Evan Mobley, what's the biggest difference you've seen from him this year when it comes to his game? Because, boy, he is really, it appears, taking the step to the next level.
Now, Evan Mobley, when I first got there, I seen all the stuff he can do, right? Being a point forward, I think he didn't have a chance last year to get it off the glass and kind of make guys around him better. And that was the biggest thing. Defensively, always thought he was a dog, but you see he's averaging 3 assists now. He gets a chance to push it in transition, set up other guys, run right to the pick and roll, open the floor up, and play the 5 sometime when Jay Allen is out. And I think that changed the game for him. And I think, too, that Kenny recognized that, right? And, when you get put in a system and the coach recognizes, all the things you could do for a team, he puts you in better positions. And I think that Kenny is really maximizing Evan Mobley's talent.
Marcus, you was here last year, obviously, with Karras and George Niang, and then you seen the Cavs go on to make this trade for DeAndre Hunter. What was your thoughts of that trade, and obviously, what you think of how it's panning out so far?
I'm a big fan of D. Hunter. He's from Philadelphia. Grew up under it, so I'm a big fan. I know what he brings to the game. Obviously, George and LeVert are 2 big pieces of what Cleveland was building over there, but I mean, look, you get a guy at his age, his aggressiveness, being able to start him, bring him off, can score the ball really well, but also is a good defender, man. I think it was a great pickup, especially and for years to come. All right, he's a young player. He's still growing. He's still learning. He gets to play for a guy like Kenny that's going to put him in the spots to make him, excel. I just think it was a perfect fit, and that was a big pickup and one of the quietest, but one of the biggest pickup during the trade deadline.
Marcus, I'm going to ask you a question that may not be able to be answered, so I'm prefacing this could be a bad question.
That's weird, Mike.
But you were here for a little bit last year. You were here for the playoffs. Donovan feels like he's taken a giant step forward this year in terms of his leadership. So when you look back at your time with Donovan, and I'm not sure if you knew him before coming to Cleveland, is Donovan a better basketball player or a better leader?
I think he's growing into his leadership role. As of now, he actually has a group of young guys that he can build up to that aren't arrogant, right? You talk about Jared Allen, you talk about Mobley. These guys are guys that are locker room guys that are kind of easy guys, easy going. You could tell the way they play the game. So it's also you got to have the teammates that want to be coachable, that wants to listen to you, their leader, right? Because the NBA has a lot of guys that think they can do X, Y, and Z, and you have a guy that's like Donovan that actually goes out there and do it every night. He sets an example. When I was there, he was in the gym all the time, right? So guys pay attention to that. Pay attention to that, guys, that type of stuff. And I think he's doing a great job, and I'm going to keep talking about Kenny. I think Kenny is putting him in a position where he can lead the guys.
Marcus, everybody talks about how playoff basketball is different. And obviously we've seen these Cavs do really well in the regular season. And in the playoffs, things change. Can you explain, just because I played football, I was NFL, Dustin played NFL, it's just a different vibe in the playoffs. Can you explain what makes it so different and why have the Cavs not been able to be successful in the playoffs?
I don't think I think it's more so they just getting there, right? They got young players, so you have to almost go through those growing pains to see, to experience what you want to get back to. Last year they got further than they have been in a while, right? Let's go back to the Celtics. I was there when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, when Jason Tatum was a rookie, and we kept getting into that part where we just couldn't get over it. But they're young, they're getting their experience under their belt. They got more coaches. They got other players. They got better to mix in, right? And sometimes it just take longer than others. But I do believe that we're taking the right steps. I'm saying we. I'm not with Cleveland right now, but I felt a part of it because I like the team. I like the organization. But I'm saying they're taking the right steps to get to where they need to be. And listen, it's hard to win in the league during the regular season, and they've really shown that they're a really good team and beating really good teams. So. To me, I think they're ready. I think they're prime ready. I think Kenny was the missing piece. And last year was an experience, and Donovan came to show up, and guys came to show up, and Evan is growing. I think to get over that hump this year, I think it's a real chance that you get over the hump.
If the Cavaliers make it through the Eastern Conference and get to the NBA Finals, do they become the favorite?
I mean, if they get past Boston, I feel like they have to become the favorite.
That's sort of our take on it. That's our thought. I just didn't know if there's anybody in the West that whether it be OKC, Denver, that stands out as a big time threat to the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I mean Denver because they've been there, right? We have yet to see OKC actually get over the hump and get to the finals. Boston every year is either at the finals or right there. So if you can dethrone Boston, I think that's the biggest challenge. Me personally, just because how many years in a row they've been there and. The team they built, the experience that they have over there now. If the Cavs can get past that, I think we got a real shot to winning the championship. I think the Cavs has a real shot of winning.
You can keep saying we, man.
Like
we get it. We get
it.
Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I wish it was a we, man. I enjoyed my time there. I really believe that either playing or sitting, I can help the Cavs just from being there, having the experience, knowing the guys. Knowing how guys react to certain things, it was a special time of me coming there, and I was very blessed to have the guys reach out to me and Kobe reach out to me and ask me did I want to come there, and it was a good experience for me.
Marcus, I want to ask a question about your time here in Cleveland. In Game 5 against the Celtics, 25 points,
went crazy,
10 of 13 from the floor, 5 of 6 from 3. After that performance, I kind of thought, hey, there's a good chance Marcus is going to get a pretty decent free agency contract showing what he could do in the playoffs against a team like Boston. Frank, are you surprised you didn't get the response from the league that you thought you may after a playoff showing like that for the Cavs?
Yeah, to be honest, I was a little surprised, but then again, I've been traded when I was helping teams and halfway the best player on the team. I've been traded at all different types of times in my career, so I'm not fully surprised. I did have other opportunities that presented itself, and I kind of was holding out for spots like Cleveland. Right, I wanted to come back there. I wanted to go to Philadelphia. The thing that happened with me earlier in the season with the Knicks, where they were dishonest about the behind the scenes stuff, that kind of put me in a position where I was left out due to the new CBA and teams not wanting to have 15 roster spots filled. So a lot of things happened through the mix where I could have been on the roster, could have been in the league, but a couple things happened that didn't go in my favor. And again, the Knicks was very dishonest about some things that happened, and it kind of turned the tide for me a little bit there.
It's always that front office.
Knicks have
man.
always
It's always
the
that
Knicks for as
front office.
long as ever. They're always a shady run organization. I don't like the way they do
Man,
this.
and you know what? Honestly, me playing there, I liked
Yeah.
being with the Knicks. The Knicks was one of my favorites, so I can't
Yeah.
say that it's different. It's different people in the front office right now, but it was just a lot of dishonest
Yeah.
things that happened to me towards the where training camp was starting. So it was
Yeah.
harder to contact or even to pivot to go another direction. And then as the season started happening, the CBA, the new bullshit CBA we have, that guys don't want to have the whole roster filled because you go over the threshold. I'm a veteran, I get paid a certain amount. So a lot of that kind of hurt me trying to get back into the year. But watching the game and me playing, I'm better than half the dudes in the league.
There you
still.
go. No doubt. Hey,
Still.
Mark, I'm curious. When you saw the news of the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade, what was your reaction?
To be honest, I was talking to my brother on the phone because he found out he was traded first. So I was like, damn, man, how did you, where the fuck could you be going? Like, it doesn't even make sense. I know the team like he hasn't played in 3 years. That don't mean he couldn't play. He just hasn't played. So I'm like, him being traded didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then when the Luka stuff came, I was like, oh, shit. Now it makes sense. You know what I mean? Honestly, I would never trade a guy like Luka Doncic. He's young. He's going to grow. We all have growing pains as young players. The stuff that he's done with you saying he's out of shape or he's not in shape or whatever it may be, his accolades doesn't speak in that, in that tone. So I don't agree with that. You guys were just in the finals, so regardless of whatever you might be thinking or you might see, that's not the case. So to me, I don't agree with it. I think that it will go down as one of the worst trades ever. But good for the Lakers.
Yeah. Speaking of which, obviously
Great for the Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers are making a run. We've talked about, wouldn't it be crazy if the Cavs played the Lakers in the finals? LeBron against the Cavs would just be nuts. How insane is it? We could talk about it all the time, the numbers LeBron's putting up at 40 years old. But we didn't, these guys, as they said, played in the NFL. But I didn't play anything. You played in the NBA for a long time. You're a veteran. To see this guy at 40 years old still put up all-star caliber numbers, how crazy is that?
Man, it was crazy because me and my best friend was just having a conversation about this. And I was saying, bro, I don't care what anybody says. Do you know how hard it is to dominate the game for 20 years straight? You at 40 years old, he's still dominating. He's not just fitting in. He's not just playing. He's dominating. He looks like he's younger than some of the younger cats that's supposed to be doing what they doing. His longevity, the way he playing the game, how he's extended the game, how obviously it's better to watch. He's pulling up from half court. He's playing the game at a pace. Then you add Luka Doncic, and he's going to make Luka better at 40 years old. So to me, it's unmatched. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think any of the records that he put up will ever be broken. I don't think that no one will have this longevity at that high level and still be able to play as many years and dominate the game how he's still dominating.
Marcus, I know that we talked a lot about the NBA, but you're a hooper, so you keep your eyes on everything. In the college world, this Cooper Flag, is he really that deal like the world portrays him to be? Some people say he's like the best freshman Duke player ever. Do you agree with that when you watch him play?
I mean, ever is a stretch,
Man,
but
tell me about
I think he's going to be a really good NBA player. I like his intangibles. I like his pace. I like his size. I like how he gets his spots and extend his dribble. He hasn't really tapped into the player he could be. You know, when you start getting NBA bodies and NBA workouts, it changes. You're only seeing him against college guys, and he's not getting NBA bodies put on him. I believe he will have early growing pains in the league, but the way I see his game and the way I see him fitting his size and his versatility and the way he shoots the ball, I think he's going to be a really good NBA player. I think his upside is really good. I do.
Marcus, I'm curious because this is a selfish question for me because nobody in Cleveland cares. But I grew up in New York. When I was a kid, Chris Mullin and Mark Jackson and Walter Berry and Shelton Jones, eventually Malik Sealy, those guys all played, for St. John's. It was great times. And this is with Pitino now. St. John's is the best they've been in 40 years. I love watching this team. I don't know if they have any NBA players, but they have dogs on that team, and they all play good defense. I love watching them play. I don't know how much you've watched St. John's, but what do you think of them? They have a chance to make a run in the tourney?
Love St. John's. Love what Rick has done in the NIL. Rick is one of my favorite coaches. I've always liked his style. Obviously, he brings a lot of tenacity to the game, but what he's done at St. John's has been a complete turnaround.
Yep.
He has his guys playing, and we talk about this NIL. He's paid quite a few guys that come over there.
Yep.
But them guys are playing like it doesn't matter how much they're getting paid. I think that's what we're forgetting in this game is that you still have to go out there and compete and be a dog. And he has some guys playing every night. If you watch St. John's, they get down. Like as soon as the ball come out the net, they picking up full court. They dogs. All of them are dogs. They do have a pro over there. I can't think of his name right now. I wish I'd have thought about St. John's before.
Is it Kadari Richmond?
He's a good player. It's another guy.
R.J. Lewis.
R.J. Lewis. He's a pro. I love
okay.
R.J. game.
Yeah.
Tenacity, man. He plays both sides of the floor. He can score the ball. He can hit the mid-range, and he doesn't back down. And that's one thing about Rick Pitino. When he get guys that's bought into the system, they flourish. And this is what St. John's is doing. And Rick really understands the NIL and guys that he know that he can coach, and I think it's going to benefit in his favor.
Marcus, a lot of people nationally have been killing the NBA since the All-Star game, and maybe even before that for some of the things that Adam Silver has done with changes to the game. The numbers, ratings-wise, have been down. You're a player, former player, current player, whatever. You're in the mix. Is the NBA, do they have a problem?
I don't think it's a problem because our superstars are still going to continue to get better, and still when you have guys like LeBron James that's carrying the league for as long as he has, and obviously the Luka going to LA, that's going to always drive numbers up. I do think the younger guys in the league, outside of the superstars, need to be better. It's a lot of the two-way stuff going on. There's a lot of the jumping from team to team. You can't build a team. I don't agree with guys trying to, in the off season, rebuild an entire team, and then you get in the regular season and it's shit basketball that's being played. It's not outside the Boston Celtics and other guys. It's just so much bouncing. Like the Sixers, for instance. I'm a Philadelphia guy. Like, why aren't the Sixers good? Like, why did they have this big ass turnaround and we talking about a team that possibly won't make the playoffs, right? Like, it's too much of that in the league. We have to come back and put our veterans back in the league to teach these young guys how to play the game. So when you are out there with the LeBron Jameses and the Jason Tatum, that you know what the fuck going on, right? Is the disconnect is the superstars are way better than the mid-tier guys. We don't have enough others right now to make the games equal, right? It's just too big of a jump, and the CBA doesn't really help.
Marcus, this is my last question for you. I want to talk one more time about the Cavs. The Cavs beats the Celtics in the playoffs if they do what?
The Cavs beat the Celtics in the playoffs if the bench does what it's supposed to do. If we can get great play out the bench, I'll just keep saying if we get great play out the bench and the bench show up, Ty Jerome, Wade, those guys, D. Hunter with the addition of him, if the bench show up, I think they have a real chance. I think that's where the game will be called because, all the starters, for the most part, is going to show up. The Mitchells and the Jason Tatums and the Jaylen Browns. They're going to show up, right? It's the bench. I think it comes down to having the depth and who bench come in and control the series.
Marcus, we appreciate you coming on. We're going to end with some rapid fire here. You can answer one word if you want. You can go as long as you want, but we got a couple rapid fire ones. Who was the guy you played against who talked the most crap on the court?
Patrick Beverly.
Do you have a particular Bev story you can share with us?
Oh man, you know what, Pat? I've been on 3 teams with Pat, and I always tell this story about Jeremy Lin and Pat Bev. Pat Bev is just coming back from overseas, and Jeremy Lin is the starting point guard. I was in Houston, and I used to say to Pat, like, "How you gonna get on this team?" And he said, "Watch, every single day I'm gonna pick up Jeremy Lin 94 feet every single day until he quits." And that was Pat Beverly in the mix. He picked up Jeremy Lin every fucking day until he was the starting point guard of the Houston Rockets. Every day. And you just forgot about Jeremy Lin. And no one knew why Jeremy Lin was playing like he was, and everybody didn't understand it. But when we was in practice, he literally broke Jeremy Lin. He literally broke him to the point where he just was like, just, you can have it. Like, go ahead, man. Just take it.
Oh, my God.
That's incredible.
That's
All right,
a
next
great
one, Marcus. Who was the guy in the league that you didn't have high expectations for? You played and was like, oh, my God, this dude could hoop.
That I didn't have high expectations. I don't know. I don't really look at guys like that in the league, but I can give it to one player that I say, before all the shit that started happening lately, it was Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, every time I played against him, it was a dogfight. Like, he was one of the guys where I knew, like, when, as a saying they say in football, like, yeah, you better have your chin strap ready. You better have that bitch strapped up. He was one of those guys. I can give him that. Ben Simmons.
What's the craziest dunk, crossover, block, craziest play you saw in person that made your jaw drop?
2 times. I'll give you 2. Gerald Green, I was a rookie in the league, and I think he was on Brooklyn, and they threw him a lob, and he windmilled the lob.
Yeah.
And I was on the bench, and I jumped up because I couldn't believe what I seen. I'm in the league now. I'm like, yeah, okay, dudes are really this athletic. And the second one, they have this on film as well. Jason Tatum dunked on LeBron his rookie year in the playoffs. And
I remember that.
Just so happened to be standing like directly there, and it just felt like it was me dunking on him. So like,
and he stared him down too, didn't he?
Yeah, it was me too. And JT, that's my guy. So, that was one of the moments that, like, I had pictures of that I will always remember because it just felt like it was me doing it. I don't know why, but it just did. Like, it was crazy.
And last one, Marcus.
So,
is Bill Self's hair real?
Hey, man.
Don't tell a man like that.
Hey, that's my guy. That's my guy, and I hope he's watching this. He know we used to fuck with him about it all the time. So, hey, listen, man. Whoever he going to, he got a great hairdresser. Let me just say that.
I know the Kansas women's volleyball coach. She then coached at A&M, who was really tight with Bill Self. So I got to know Bill through Bird Coon, and the Bill Self hair stories were legendary. Okay. So,
really great dude, though.
Yeah. Thanks, Marcus.
Marcus, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, man, appreciate you guys. No doubt.
That was good.
Go Eagles, man. I know y'all seen us do our thing.
Yeah, they did.
Marcus, anytime you want to come back, we'd love to have you. You see Marcus on
Hey,
TV.
can I just ask? I know I might be in. Can I just ask one more question to you guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
If we get Myles Garrett, how would you guys feel?
What you get? It depends on what you're giving up.
I mean, we don't hate
you giving us 2 first.
I think he's just asking us if Myles would be a good fit for him. Myles is a great player.
Myles would be great for y'all.
He's great for him. He'll be great for anybody.
I know. I know. If we got Myles Garrett, we going back to Super Bowl. You know what? Mahomes and them was trying to get 3. We gonna get 3 if we get Myles. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Giving up 2 first-round picks.
If y'all don't, the Commanders will. So it might be a bidding war right there.
Yeah. I'm already knowing, but for some reason, everybody want to come to the Eagles. I don't know why, but for some reason, everybody want to come to the Eagles, man.
They got good culture. That culture.
They are the best-run organization in the NFL, I think.
Yeah, they got that great culture.
Good, but they're so smart.
We're trying to get the Sixers on that same path,
That's
man.
right. And the Phillies are good too. I mean, I don't know if you're a big baseball
Sixers,
fan.
y'all might have to start over. Y'all got to blow the Sixers up and just trust the process might have come to an end, man. It might be Maxey is the future. the dude McCain, what's his name? That's his name.
Jared McCain.
Them two, you
Jared
gotta build
McCain.
around them two because that's the future.
Yeah. Thanks, Marcus.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
That's
My guys,
Marcus Morris.
appreciate it, man.
Appreciate
All
him
right, Marcus.
chiming in with
Appreciate
us.
it.
And you will see Marcus on a TV near you soon.
Yeah.